Have you ever wondered why some older individuals seem to lose the sparkle of connection as the years pass, while others continue to glow with warmth and vibrancy? Today, we are taking a deep dive into the hidden behaviors that can slowly erode relationships and diminish the joy of life. This video explores a series of less discussed, yet impactful habits that some seniors develop, habits that may be inadvertently isolating them from the people they love. We will journey through personal stories, expert insights, and practical steps to reclaim the beauty of life with renewed energy. If you enjoy discovering real-life insights and practical advice, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your support helps spread these valuable messages to even more people. Habit 1. Succumbing to pervasive pessimism. Marjorie had always been known among her friends for her gentle laugh and twinkling eyes, yet as she grew older, an insidious cloud of pessimism began to cast a shadow over her days. Initially, the negative thoughts crept in subtly, a minor complaint about the weather here, a small sigh over her aching joints there. Over time, these fleeting moments became a permanent fixture in her conversations. Instead of the spirited discussions that once defined her afternoons at the local tea gathering, her remarks turned into a list of grievances that left her companions feeling deflated. Marjorie would often remark that nothing ever went right these days, and her fixation on the hardships of life gradually alienated even those who cared for her deeply. It was as if her heart was gradually closing off, letting the weight of negative thoughts hinder her ability to see the beauty of each new day. The shift was not sudden, it was a slow descent into a state of mind where every obstacle was magnified and every little inconvenience became a formidable barrier. As the negativity grew, her phone calls became shorter, and her once joyful strolls in the park turned into solitary walks filled with silent curses. It was a transformation that no one had expected from someone who had once lit up every room. Remember, if this resonates with you or someone you love, please like and subscribe for more inspiring content, and feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. Habit 2. Letting personal grooming and appearance slide. Bernice used to be the picture of elegance, always dressed in tasteful clothes, her hair styled with care, and a delicate perfume announcing her presence. However, in recent years, Bernice began to lose touch with the small acts of self-care that once defined her identity. Gradually, the visits to the salon became infrequent, and the mirror that once reflected a vibrant soul now presented a tired, unkempt image. At family gatherings, relatives began noticing that her outfits no longer carried the same sparkle, and friends started whispering about the absence of her signature smile. It was not that Bernice had forgotten how to care for herself, rather, she had allowed the burden of time and regret to dull the importance of self-respect. Eventually, her dwindling efforts to present herself well led to a feeling of disconnect, not only from others but from her own sense of worth. Friends and family tried to encourage her to change this trend. They suggested small, manageable steps like a weekly pampering session or even simply taking a moment each morning to acknowledge the beauty that still resided within her. But for a long while, Bernice continued down the path of neglect, missing out on the magnetic power of self-confidence. If you find this story meaningful, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Share this video with someone who might need a reminder that self-care is not just a luxury, it's essential. Habit 3. Resisting change and rejecting new technology. Lucinda had always been a creature of habit. She prided herself on her steadfast routines and knew her way around everything the old-fashioned way. However, the modern world moved rapidly, and her reluctance to adopt new technology became more than just a minor inconvenience. It turned into a barrier between her and the evolving ways of staying connected with loved ones. When her family started using video calls to keep in touch, she dismissed these innovations as unnecessary complications. Instead of embracing the opportunities to see her grandchildren's smiling faces on a screen, Lucinda preferred the familiar cadence of a landline conversation. Soon, this resistance to change started to isolate her even further, as friends and relatives increasingly relied on messaging and social media to communicate. The turning point came when Lucinda finally realized that her inability to adapt was robbing her of precious moments. Encouraged by a patient neighbor, she took a hesitant step into the digital age. With guidance, she learned that technology could be a doorway, not a wall, to renewed intimacy. Slowly, the screens became windows into the lives of those she cherished. If Lucinda's journey inspires you, please show your support by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and commenting below with your own experiences of overcoming resistance to change. Habit 4. Clinging to clutter and the past. Mabel's home was a living museum of memories. Every trinket, faded photograph, and old letter told a story of a bygone era. As time passed, however, her inability to part with physical reminders of the past turned her once cozy abode into a maze of clutter. It wasn't just about sentimental value. The overwhelming accumulation began to block not only the rooms in her house but also the space in her heart. At first, the clutter felt like a comforting reminder that every object was a tangible piece of her life story. Yet gradually, the very things that once offered solace became sources of stress and isolation. Mabel found herself spending hours trawling through piles of forgotten items, unable to move forward because she could not let go of the past. Family members voiced concerns, suggesting that clearing out the unnecessary relics might bring relief and open up space for fresh memories. Eventually, with the gentle encouragement of a close friend, Mabel embarked on a slow and mindful decluttering journey. She began by keeping only what truly brought her joy and left behind the excess. This process not only transformed her physical space but also lightened the emotional load she carried every day. If you believe in the power of letting go and making room for the new, please like this video, subscribe for more heartfelt stories, and leave a comment about how you find balance in your own life. Habit 5. Losing patience over minor inconveniences. Hazel was known for her fiery spirit in her youth, a woman who had a penchant for laughter and a generous heart. But as years passed, the patience that had once defined her began to fray at the edges. Small irritations like a delayed bus or a slow cashier sparked bursts of temper that surprised even her closest confidants. One afternoon at the local market, Hazel's frustration mounted as she noticed a young clerk fumbling over a simple transaction. In that moment, the pangs of impatience took over, and what might have been a minor hiccup spiraled into a full-blown outburst. Later, as the initial rush of anger subsided, a deep sense of regret washed over her. She realized that these outbursts were distancing her from friends and creating an aura of unpredictability that undermined her once gentle nature. Determined to reclaim her composure, Hazel began practicing mindfulness. She set aside a few minutes each day to breathe slowly and reflect on the transient nature of everyday irritations. Over time, she learned that sometimes what appears as a delay or mistake is simply part of life's unpredictable rhythm, and that a little patience could transform minor inconveniences into opportunities for grace. If Hazel's experience speaks to you, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and let us know in the comments about the small moments in life where patience made all the difference. Habit 6. Dominating conversations and failing to listen. Evelyn was the storyteller of her circle, a fountain of anecdotes gathered over decades. Yet in her eagerness to share her life lessons, she sometimes forgot the art of listening. Family dinners, which once blossomed into lively exchanges of shared experiences, slowly turned into monologues where Evelyn unwittingly overshadowed the voices of others. Her daughter once confided that these conversations, though rich with history and wisdom, left little space for her own thoughts and feelings. Evelyn's well-intentioned attempts to offer advice ultimately ended up creating a barrier, as her loved ones felt unheard and undervalued. It was as if every word she spoke was an effort to recreate the past rather than to build a bridge to the present. Realizing the impact of her one-sided dialogue, Evelyn resolved to change. She started by pausing before speaking and making a conscious effort to ask open-ended questions. In doing so, she discovered that each conversation became not only a sharing of stories but also an act of mutual respect and connection. Her evenings began to fill with genuine dialogue where every voice was encouraged to shine. If Evelyn's transformation inspires you to engage more mindfully, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts or experiences on active listening in the comments section below. Habit 7. Refusing help due to pride. Agnes had always maintained a fierce sense of independence. For decades, she had prided herself on handling everything on her own. However, as physical challenges became more frequent, this deep-seated pride turned into a barrier against receiving help. A simple task like carrying groceries or fixing a leaking tap became a battleground for her ego. One winter evening, while struggling with a heavy bag of firewood, a neighbor kindly offered assistance. Stubborn as ever, Agnes politely declined, insisting she had everything under control even as her arms trembled and her breathing grew shallow. That moment, which might have been dismissed as a trivial act of independence, was instead a poignant reminder that sometimes the hardest part of aging is the reluctance to accept support from those who truly care. Realizing that true strength lies in acknowledging one's vulnerabilities, Agnes slowly began embracing help. Whether it was relying on a friend for a ride or accepting help with household chores, each act of surrender to kindness gradually rekindled a sense of community. She discovered that allowing others in not only lightened her physical load but also enriched her soul with shared warmth and compassion. If you value the strength found in vulnerability, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment below with your story of how accepting help changed your life for the better. Habit 8. Excessive frugality preventing enjoyment of life. Virginia was the epitome of financial prudence. Her careful budgeting and unwavering commitment to saving were admirable at first glance. Yet over time, an extreme mindset of frugality began to steal the joy right out of living. Even when opportunities for delightful experiences beckoned, whether a spontaneous road trip or a lively dinner with friends, Virginia found herself paralyzed by worries about wasting resources. Her savings, which had grown steadily through years of sacrifice, came to symbolize not security but a self-imposed prison. Outings were canceled, hobbies abandoned, and laughter slowly replaced by anxious calculations of cost versus benefit. The realization struck her one evening when she saw a group of peers enjoying a local festival. Instead of joining in, she remained at home, burdened by the belief that every coin saved was worth more than any moment of happiness. With gentle nudges from a trusted confidant, Virginia began to question her approach. She learned that financial wisdom is best paired with the courage to seize experiences that nourish the soul. By rebalancing her priorities and allowing herself occasional indulgences, she discovered that spending on moments of joy was an investment in well-being, not a reckless expense. If you believe that life's riches are found in moments shared rather than coins hoarded, please like this video, subscribe for more heartfelt insights, and leave a comment on what you do to strike the perfect balance in life. Habit 9. Dismissing the value of younger perspectives. Catherine cherished the wisdom of a life long lived, yet she sometimes fell into the trap of dismissing ideas and experiences from younger generations. Convinced that the world was better in the days of her youth, she would often make offhand remarks about modern trends and the choices of the younger generation. This habit, though born of nostalgia, began to create a widening gap between her and her own family, particularly her enthusiastic granddaughter who sought validation and encouragement for her dreams. Rather than viewing these fresh perspectives as opportunities for mutual growth, Catherine's critical remarks made her feel increasingly isolated. Over time, she came to see that the bridge between past and present could be strengthened through understanding and dialogue rather than judgment. With a renewed commitment to empathy, she started asking thoughtful questions about the innovations and new ideas that fascinated the younger generation. In doing so, she discovered that embracing change could lead to a dynamic exchange of experiences, a chance to learn something new every day while still cherishing the treasured memories of her past. If bridging the gap between generations matters to you, please do like and subscribe. Share your own experiences of learning from younger voices in the comments below. Let's build a community where every age is celebrated. Habit 10. Clinging to past hurts and regrets. Irene's heart was heavy with memories of past betrayals and disappointments. For years, she carried wounds that refused to heal, letting old hurts dictate how she related to the people in her present. The bitterness and regret she harbored acted as an invisible barrier, preventing her from truly engaging with the love and support surrounding her. Every negative memory was replayed like an old film, and each day became tinted with sorrow and what might have been. Her grandchildren would remark how it seemed as though a dark cloud always lingered over her, even on bright, cheerful days. Friends tried to encourage her to let go, to view each new day as an opportunity for forgiveness and renewal. Slowly, through quiet moments of reflection and support from those who cared, Irene started to understand that holding onto the past was only robbing her of future joy. She began practicing forgiveness, not for the sake of the people who had hurt her, but as a means to reclaim her own happiness. This journey of letting go was neither swift nor easy, but it gradually transformed her outlook and opened her heart to the possibility of new beginnings. If you are learning to release the weight of regret and embrace forgiveness, please like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell us how you have overcome your own past hurts. Your story might be the beacon of hope someone needs. Habit 11. Ignoring early warnings about one's health. Joan had always prided herself on her resilience, often shrugging off minor aches as just part of aging. Yet, over time, she began to notice small warning signs: persistent tiredness, occasional dizziness, and unexpected pains. Joan's tendency to ignore these subtle messages only allowed them to grow into significant health challenges. The long nights spent worrying instead of resting, and the stubborn belief that she was simply getting older, led her to delay seeking proper care. Her turning point came one crisp autumn morning when she nearly missed an important family celebration due to sheer exhaustion. The realization finally dawned on her: ignoring her body's signals was not a testament to strength, but an act of self-neglect. With the encouragement of her doctor and her family, Joan gradually began embracing a more proactive approach to her health. Regular checkups, a balanced diet, and gentle exercises became part of her routine, and her quality of life improved noticeably. Joan learned that caring for one's health is an expression of self-respect and the cornerstone of enjoying one's golden years. If you agree that health is the greatest wealth, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your tips for staying well. Your story might just inspire someone else to prioritize their health today. Habit 12. Withdrawing into social isolation. Over time, many seniors like Lorraine find themselves gradually retreating from social activities. Once a vibrant member of a community circle and an active volunteer, Lorraine started to withdraw into a shell of solitude. The reasons varied. Some days felt too overwhelming. On other days, the fear of facing a world that seemed to have moved on left her feeling disconnected. Even activities that once filled her with joy, like participating in local clubs or family reunions, started to seem like burdens too heavy to bear. Lorraine's gradual isolation was not instantaneous. It crept in slowly, each missed invitation and canceled outing adding to an ever-growing wall between her and the world. It wasn't until a concerned friend reached out and invited her for a quiet lunch that the reality of her loneliness struck her. Recognizing that human connection is the antidote to despair, Lorraine took tentative steps to re-engage with her community. Whether it was accepting an invitation to join a book club or simply taking the time to chat with neighbors, every small act of reaching out became a stepping stone towards a fuller, more connected life. If you feel that reconnecting with others is an essential part of a fulfilling life, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Share with us in the comments how you overcome moments of isolation. Your insight might be the lifeline someone else needs. Powerful conclusion. As we have seen through these heartfelt stories, from Marjorie's battle with persistent pessimism to Lorraine's struggle against isolation, aging is not defined solely by the physical changes we encounter, but by the small habits we cultivate over time. Every behavior, whether it is a tendency to dwell on the negative, neglect self-care, resist change, or avoid connection, shapes not only our relationships but our overall well-being. The realities we face later in life can be daunting, however, there is always room for renewal. Each day presents a new opportunity to reframe our outlook, reconnect with others, and care for ourselves with compassion. Whether it is by smiling at a stranger, accepting help when offered, or allowing new ideas to challenge our long-held beliefs, these choices can lead to a future filled with hope rather than regret. Remember, every act of change, no matter how small, plants the seed for a richer, more meaningful life. Aging gracefully means not only accepting the inevitable but also transforming those obstacles into opportunities for growth and connection. Before you go, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave a final comment sharing one habit you plan to change today. Your engagement is what keeps our community strong and supportive, and we appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to reflect on these journeys. May your days be filled with understanding, growth, and the courage to embrace each new moment with an open heart.